All right, what's going on, everybody? In this video, I want to talk about what is actually keeping your testosterone and your male energy and your male vitality and your spirit down in the modern world. And a lot of people want to talk about, or they want to bring up environmental factors. They want to bring up like the fact that we live amongst all this pollution and the microplastics, guys, the microplastics are everywhere, and you can't buy a bottle of water without swallowing a spoonful of plastic. And girls are putting birth control down the drain and in the toilet, and it's getting into the water, and everybody's becoming like a frog or something, one of those crooked frogs, if you know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to speak about something that I think is happening on a much deeper level to many people, and that is sort of the like behavioral influence and the way that our behavior affects our testosterone. And when I say testosterone, that's just sort of a blanket term, but I mean in general, like testosterone, there's probably other like chemicals, and there's probably other like mindsets that all come along with it, and just sort of like your development as a man. And what I want to get into is the fact that the most damaging thing that is happening, I think, in the modern world right now is that men are spending so much time and so much of their lives just acting like what you would call betas, just like acting like little boys and acting like little kids. And I think on a physiological level, and on like a physical, on a mental sort of a level, your body and your brain reacts to this, and it keeps you stifled, it keeps you down. And what do I mean? It's like, I don't think it's so much the chemicals, but in this modern world, people are literally, and men especially, I think it's more important with men, because men are supposed to be the ones going out there and becoming independent and like grabbing the world by the balls, so to speak. But what's happening in this modern world is that men are spending so much of their lives into their 30s and 40s basically being dependent on others to such a large degree, where they are actually stifling themselves and they're stifling their own development. For example, like men these days, all the way into their 30s, all the way into their 40s sometimes, are so reliant on their parents and their family and the society around them to help them survive, because they haven't put in the work needed to become like an independent man. So I think what's happening is like, you'll be a man, you'll be getting into your 20s, you'll be getting into like when you should be in adulthood, when you should be becoming like a sovereign individual, when you should be starting to create your own persona and like saying what you mean and meaning what you say and living for yourself. You should be doing these things around probably like the age of like 16, 17, 18 into your early 20s. But what's happening these days is that men are staying under the umbrella of their parents, under the umbrella of society, and they are repressing themselves. And that's the most important thing that I think I'm trying to get across here, is that men are spending so much of their lives repressing themselves. And they're doing it because they haven't made any money, they haven't really like grown a pair, and they haven't really started being a sovereign individual. And so what happens is you go around in life and you're acting like a people pleaser, and you are stifling your own personality traits and your own ambitions, your own individuality, you are pushing that down. And when you repress things, it starts to mess things up. Like you see, like when people have like certain urges that are repressed, they start to become like weird. Or if you like repress your anger for a long time, it like builds up in your body and it like explodes in weird times. When you repress things, it has very negative consequences. And because so many men are staying dependent on other people and scared to displease other people, they are like repressing themselves, and your body, I believe, physiologically reacts to that, and it almost keeps you in like a low testosterone, a low spirit state, because I think your body, it reacts to certain stimulus, right? Like if you're lifting weights, your body's like, okay, he's getting out there, he's doing physical stuff, we need to get bigger, we need to start building bigger muscles and things like that. Your body reacts to stimulus, and when you are not ever giving your body and your brain the stimulus of like, I'm a man now, I'm an independent person, it doesn't release the chemicals, it doesn't start to forge you into that man you're supposed to be, and it keeps you into that like little boy state. And so I think that that makes it so imperative for us to go out there and actually be men and actually like identify like what we want to do with our lives, like who we want to be, and just like fearlessly pursue that without the fear of consequence or the fear of what other people can think, because you're spending so much time repressing yourself. You're not becoming the actual person you want to be, and you're actually like messing up your brain and you're messing up your body. Like say that you want to be a kickboxer or something, but your parents want you to be like a nurse or something, and you have this like fire inside you, you have this like energy to do this thing, you have this desire, but you are you're pushing it down, and you're keeping yourself like in a more almost like feminine state because you're scared to disprove, you're scared of the disapproval from others. And really, I think like the best way to combat this is just get out there and start living life on your own terms and start making money, and just let the chips fall where they may. Because all of this people pleasing, while you might think it's like a survival thing, while you might think it's like, I need to keep these people happy or I'm going to be in some kind of danger, that is actually like the most dangerous thing for you. And that's the thing that's hurting you the most. And that's really where it comes from. Like this fear that if you live your life a certain way, if you start doing certain things, you're going to make certain people mad. And these people often have like what you believe is some kind of leverage over you or some kind of like power over you. And like you want to, come home and you're hungry and you're like, I want to eat like 10 eggs, but you're going to the fridge and you're living at your parents' house or something, and you start getting the eggs out and they're like, oh, what are you doing, why are you eating so many eggs, why are you like making this food, we were just gonna have like pizza or something for dinner. And then you're just like, well, I don't want to make them upset, so like let me put the eggs and like the healthy food back, and I'll just kind of like eat the pizza and stuff. And it's like, it sounds like a small thing, right? But it's like over time this compounds over and over, day in and day out, and you start to become this like messed up, repressed version of yourself. And yeah, I think the sooner that you can break out of that, the sooner that you can start just living for yourself and being independent and being fearless, the more you're going to grow into the man that you want to be and that you are proud of, and that is actually going to be like a healthy person living on their own terms. You simply want to become the kind of person that when they want to eat a certain meal, when they want to go do a certain thing, when they want to say what's on their mind, when they want to, you know, push forward the actual personality that's like inside of their soul. When you have a desire or something, you want to just be able to do it. You want to go into the fridge, you want to grab the food you want to get. You want to be like, man, I'm a man, I'm my own man. I worked today, I came home, this is how I want to spend the rest of my day, this is what I want to do. And you just have to like own yourself, and you need to cut out the people pleasing from your life. You want to cut out the fear of this judgment from others. You almost want to, if it comes down to it, you'd almost rather risk being like a homeless person than being one of these people pleasing, like beholden to others type of people. Because at least the homeless people are like free in a way where they're like, even if life's not quite where I want it to be, like I'm the one in charge of this. I'm not like altering my personality, I'm not stifling myself just to be a people pleaser and just to make sure that nobody's getting upset at me. This is why I think it's so important to like make money and to be like, to have money in the bank and stuff, because you want to get to a spot in life where if being the person that you want to be somehow pisses off like everybody in your life, like if it makes all your friends upset, if it makes all your parents upset, all your family upset, if being that kind of person just like pushes everybody away for whatever reason because they just can't accept it, or because they think like you're going on some unbeaten strange path, and if that just like pushes everybody away, you want to be in a position where you've like worked hard and you're like financially stable to a degree where you can almost be like, okay, like you can all go, like I don't need you. You don't want to be like trying to talk to your landlord in a certain way where you're like, I better talk to my landlord in this really friendly way, because if he kicks me out, man, and then I'm gonna be in such a bad spot. Or it's like, oh, I better talk to my mom or my dad in like such a certain way and just be like pleasing to them, because if they stop giving me support, then I'm gonna be like in a bad situation. Or I better like keep talking to my uncle in a certain way, because like if he, you know, gets upset at me, he's gonna do something that's gonna like negatively affect me. Like so many people, so many guys are in these type of situations these days where they're so heavily altering their personality to not perturb anybody else. And that is, I think, one of the main things that is keeping your testosterone low, that's keeping your spirit so low, is that you're really not being an authentic version of yourself. You are just living life on like defense mode instead of offense. Instead of getting out there and like doing what you want, taking what you want, being who you want to be, you're living life on defense mode, and you're like, how do I just survive? Like you're in like survival mode, and that's such a like a low testosterone kind of like beta type of like way to live, where you're just like, you're like the little beta chimp that's just like, I just need to live in survival, and I'm just gonna, you know, let the big guy, like he's gonna go out and he's gonna bang all the girls, and hopefully he'll just like leave me like a little bit of the scrap on the animal that we killed today or something. And you're living life in such defense mode. And when you see the people who are like really getting out there, really winning, they are like the people who are not really scared of like risking almost being hurt or being confrontation, you know, being in confrontation with somebody. They're just like, they have a thing they want to do, they go out, they do it, and everybody else can just kind of like deal with it. You know, it's like maybe you want to like get some tattoos or something, maybe you want to do something crazy, maybe you want to like get huge in the gym, but like you have these people in your life that are like, oh, why would you do that, and you're like, well, I don't want to upset them, because sometimes you know, I call them and I ask for money sometimes, or sometimes I like my car breaks down, my dad needs to come fix it, so I better not get tattoos, I better not get too big in the gym because they're gonna think I'm weird. It's like, dude, that is the kind of crap that is ruining so many modern guys. And because guys live like kids for so long, they're literally living like this into like their older age. They're never really like breaking free, becoming that sovereign individual, and like giving your physiology the signal where it's like, okay, I'm no longer like a child, like I am like that guy now, like I'm the one who's like got life by the reins of life, and I'm like steering my own life. You are, yeah, you're being way too beholden to others. So my advice to you guys would be to start figuring out who you want to be and start taking steps in that direction, and not being afraid of the consequences. Just, you know, if you want to be like a kickboxer guy who gets a bunch of tattoos and stuff, like just start going and doing it, and don't worry about who it's gonna upset or who it's gonna make disprove you, because if they're gonna like cast you out or whatever, it's almost better that you get that over with and you get out on your own, and you sort of find this new like center in your life where it's like, okay, maybe when I was a people pleaser, life was a little more comfortable like in certain ways, but now that I'm being my own person, okay, this person stopped supporting me, that person stopped supporting me, so I lost a certain amount of like benefits or whatever, but I'm living a more authentic life. Like maybe I gotta live in a more like crappy apartment now in the ghetto, but it's like you get to see real life and you get to be like, dang, this is where I'm at when I live true to myself. Like this is the place I need to start from when I'm living true to myself. So at least you know, and you can start to shift your mindset, and you can see the real truth and be like, okay, this is the position that I'm in when I'm living on an authentic life, and now it's up to me to figure out a way to like climb to the next level, and stop stifling your own real, true, authentic self just to please others. And that's the main message, guys. Stop doing that. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's nice talking to you again. I'll see you around. Bye.